Tinder.
Welcome into a live Craig-isode of the KC Laboratory. Thank you all so much for listening. Kent Swanson, Maddie Lane, Craig Stout here on a Wednesday during training camp, during the season. We've officially made it. Maddie Lane, how we doing today?
Listen, we're here. We're ready to go. We got training camp is happening. There are big, huge, massive takeaways to be had from every single day of camp. And even better yet, Craig is here to be the buffer between you and I, so we no longer have to be next to each other on this wonderful video.
The literal buffer, the guy in between. Maddie, I don't know. Did you not get the memo, sir? I mean, it's mustache time. Training camp is for mustaches.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you know that?
So I did that for the draft. I went back to a mustache. Kent didn't. I got reprimanded once I got home for going to the mustache. So I already put in my yearly mustache dues.
I would have got reprimanded if I had gone down to a mustache right before family pictures.
I wish you would have.
I like the difference in your guys' mustaches and who it says about you guys as people.
Yeah, I'm more of a cowboy kind of guy. I mean,
you kind of are, but like, no, you definitely have like a rich guy on vacation kind of mustache vibe too. Cowboy,
yeah.
Especially with that shirt, you're kind of like, you look like a vacationer. You look like an American that's overseas on vacation right now.
I could put on a very colorful hat right now and really complete the look if I needed to.
Kent looks like he coaches a little league baseball team in the middle of Montana. I think that's what we're going with here.
Well, I do coach a little league team in suburban Kansas, so there's that.
And drives an ice cream truck.
Oh, come on.
That's the vibe you're giving off. I was going to say cop, but it's not even a cop vibe. It's definitely an ice cream truck vibe.
I actually need your guys' opinion on this.
Yeah.
How can you even tell I have a mustache?
Yes.
It's just so blonde.
Maybe that's why it's the ice cream truck thing. It doesn't have much contrast, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. Oh no. Ken is gonna sell all of us an RV before the night is over.
Yeah.
Well,
we're narrowing it down. Used RV sale.
He's going to sell specifically me an RV. This is an RV owner mustache. That's an RV seller mustache.
That's not yours is a new RV though, not a used RV mustache.
Yeah.
Look, we got financing options, people. A wide variety of options to fit your budget and let you get out on the road and do your thing. Don't say Winnebago to a Winnebago.
Kent, I can tell you're in marketing, my friend.
Real quick, we had to put that down. We had to put that to rest. No, let's let him back in now.
That's not the only pun that will be hitting this show. I'll just tell you that much.
Whoa!
Oh, okay. Craig might have one. I've got one cooking I've already got pre-planned puns. This is going to be a great show. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us today. We are so thrilled that you're here. I am so thrilled that both of my dear pals are here. It is always fun to be together. I do, Craig. Your head's so much bigger than ours, though. On this,
you want me to scoot back here?
No, I don't know. I just.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Maddie,
what? What's wrong?
Fill the frame, kid.
I don't even have to move. I don't even have to move. I'm just here.
Yeah, you guys can really see my mustache. I might do the show like this now.
We got some talking heads action going on. Let's go.
We'll get
the show just like this.
Yeah,
I like it.
Sense.
This is nice. This is very nice. But if we appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight, we really do. I did want to remind you, we do have a few days left. If you want to sign up your team, we have a few spots left in the KCSN golf tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's at Creekmore on August 18th. That's a Monday. So if you want to maybe get out, take a day off, bring a few of your buddies over and go have a good time, that is available to you still. I think we have 2 or 3 teams left if you do want to sign up. It's almost full. It is going to be a lot of fun. You can go to givebutter.com/KCSN golf. The link is in the description of the show as well. So if you are looking to go have a good time in August, I'll be out there hanging out. I know Tuck will be out there hanging out. Don't know if they're going to let us drive a golf cart again. We'll see. I don't know what our job's going to be. I just kind of want to have a set with me, like just drive a golf cart around and see if people let me tee off and then they can play my ball. Like I'm just like a I think that would be fun. Just gonna,
I like that Kent just introduced himself as like the ringer of this. It's just like, oh yeah, no, I'm so much better at this than you. Let me go hit your ball for you.
It was more like let me hit one, please. It's just more like that, It was really just I'm just trying to actually kind of passively sneak around it is all I'm trying to do. But link is in the description of the show if you want to come hang out with us. So we are in training camp. We made it. This is the first. Is this the first? No, this is the second show since practice really kind of went underway, right?
It's your first since practice.
It is our
was the first day of practice.
That's right. It's been a long week. Yesterday.
The chat has been popping. We've been talking a lot of football this week. We can tell it's back this week. So yeah, I get it.
The KCSN Discord is also popping out there too if you want to go check that out as well. But yeah, we've have you
done that before?
I have done that before. I'm very active in the golf. I'm very active in the golf one now. Like the most. I've been sitting.
Is that where you're asking? Is that where you're asking people to take their tee off shots?
Please take my tee shots. Have you seen my videos in the KCSN Discord?
Maddie, I have posted videos of my golf swing to the chat.
Okay.
You can go check
I'm
it out.
glad. Good for you.
Thanks, man.
I hope you're getting all the feedback you need. You and Sauce Gardner, one and the same.
What are you gonna do? But yeah, we've gotten a chance to see some clips. We've got some news about what's been happening at camp. I think some of that ties to some of the wide receiver stuff that we're gonna kick the show off. We really haven't talked much Rashee Rice yet. We haven't since the news kind of broke about his legal issues kind of being settled. That gives the league the opportunity to make a ruling on a suspension. And I think we should all probably expect that the Chiefs will see a suspension for Rashee Rice at some point in the 2025 season. So first off, before we go too far, initial reactions on the suspension, on, kind of what you think the suspension might look like, all that kind of stuff, Maddie.
We'll see. I said it. I kind of hinted at it last show on the lab on Monday. Rashee Rice's situation is a little odd because there's not like a direct parallel that you can really call upon in the most recent years, especially to use as like a basis for where the NFL is going to start, right? Like there's things that share some similar components, but not all. And you add on the fact like Rashee Rice isn't like a repeat offender in the NFL's eyes. He doesn't have this past like trouble within the league that they can start stacking multiple infractions upon and things like that. So it's a really weird spot. When you look at the severity of what he does, the fact that he does, in fact, have to serve jail time, like that typically has led to more games if you look at some other players in the past, but that's also involved proven intoxication while driving. And we don't have that with Rashee Rice. Like that's another big kind of curveball. So it's just really hard to find a comparison point for this suspension. I have read anywhere from people like lawyers that are in the fantasy football world that do a really good job of trying to stay on top of this kind of stuff, saying anywhere from 3 to 5 games, 3 to 6 games. See, I think Matt Derrick tweeted out that the Chiefs were expecting a 3 to 4 kind of range. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be more than half the season as of right now is kind of what my expectations are. But also it is a pretty unprecedented case that if the NFL decides to come down with the hammer on the Chiefs because of the situation and some of the gray area around it, I guess I wouldn't be completely floored.
I wouldn't be floored if they went that direction either, but I'm settling around 4 games. And I think we'll probably hear pretty soon here. I don't think this is going to be like a Willie Gay Jr. scenario where just a random week in the middle of the season, they just out of the blue say, oh, by the way, he's suspended for the next X number of games. No, I think it's going to be off the top here. The NFL has known about this for a long time. They've known that it's going to be settled for a long time. Rashee Rice admitted that he did it. All of the things have lined up. This was not a litigation of any kind here. So I think that they've been prepared to go out and make this decision for a little while. The Chiefs have obviously been prepared for a little while here for the suspension to be, handed down whenever this was resolved. So from that regard, I think it'll be first part of the season. I'm going to go ahead and say the first quarter of the season there. And I think that's okay. I think that's actually going to be okay. You're going to buy Rashee Rice a little bit more time to get himself healthy. He's obviously working at training camp right now, but moving at the speed of the NFL is a little bit different than moving at the speed of training camp for an hour or two during practice. That means a lot to be able to go hard for 60, 70, 80 offensive snaps. So I think we'll see them bring him in with a big workload week 5, week 6. And the thing that I really kind of appreciate from just an on-field football perspective here, because that's all we're talking about at the moment, just on-field football, is that the Chiefs are going to know very soon here how many games they're going to be without Rashee Rice. They can build an offensive game plan for 4 games early. We've seen Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes start hot. We've seen them build a game plan that can craft and work around absences and things like that when they have time. It's the stuff when we've seen them kind of soldier through stuff and get really in the mud and it looks more like a rock fight. It's usually when, we lost Hollywood Brown in preseason week 1, and then we lost Rashee Rice, in the early part of the season. And now we don't have the ability to pivot and game plan in the way that we would like. It gives them the runway to work in a game plan without Rashee Rice and with Rashee Rice. So I think that it's going to be beneficial for the offense that they're going to know early. They're going to know how much it is. But yeah, I expect about the first quarter of the season that this offense is going to be without its de facto number 1 wide receiver.
When I first heard the news, I said my preference would be that let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get this suspension taken care of beginning in week 1. Let's just get it going. Let's move on. And I think that would be in the best interest of the Chiefs. And to have that plan developed, right? Like you said, Craig, you've got your early season script where you're kicking things off without Rashee, and then you can kind of jump into the with Rashee offense after he kind of returns into the fold. I think that would be the ideal scenario in giving this team the runway. This team's very good at starting hot. They are a very good team, early in the season. They know how to win football games. This is why they go through, training camp to try to get themselves prepared and ready for the early season, stretch, so that they're more physical than other teams early on in the season. They're more physically prepared for the rigors of the National Football League. And so having it just taken out of the way early, I think would be an advantage for this team. We've seen this offense without Rashee Rice recently. We've seen it with Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy into the mix. And, we saw it last year. Hopefully with a little bit better offensive line in 2025. But, I do think we've seen this team win football games with a version that does not have Rashee Rice and has very similar skill players. Now, when you're looking, we can kind of turn the page a little bit to the training camp side of things with it, because Jalen Royals has been getting opportunities with the first team offense very early here in training camp. And we saw it today, had some nice plays at the, mixing in with Patrick Mahomes, caught some passes from Patrick Mahomes today. And it was, I think, Nate Taylor of ESPN's Nate Taylor made the comment.
Feels good to say.
I know, it's just, it's fun to say. You saw him, I think he kind of made the comment that Royals was on the field with the ones in Rashee Rice's absence, right? So anytime Rashee's sitting out, and we've seen the team kind of do this with players that they're anticipating, suspensions or some of that kind of stuff. There might be some, how they treat training camp a little bit is making sure your week 1 team's as prepared and ready as your entire team's going to be when it's at full strength. It's a run here with the ones. We've talked about it being a guy that has a similar frame to Rashee Rice, very similar physically. It's some crossover in skill sets there. Maddie, do you think we can anticipate a little bit of deals in the early when Rashee Rice is absent?
It wouldn't be at the top of my expectation list. From what I've seen of Jalen Royals, I know he's been getting some run with the ones, but it hasn't. The clips we have, and this is just training camp. But if we're basing this entirely around training camp, I don't think it's been overly impressive to me. He looks pretty stiff if I'm comparing him to other guys moving out there. He looks like he's probably still trying to catch up to what the offense is going to ask. And if I'm building out for 4 games, not for the rest of their careers, but for 4 games or 6 games or whatever it is, the best version of this offense probably has a Juju Smith-Schuster playing in the slot, probably has a Hollywood Brown, probably has an Xavier Worthy, probably has more guys that just kind of know the system and are a little bit more ready to play on day one. This isn't to say that Jalen Royals shouldn't get some run in that regard or anything like that. Like, that's not saying he shouldn't play at all, but just comparing some of his, solo drills to some of the other guys that were out there, he looked like he was having the most difficult time getting in and out of breaks. Add on to that, having to learn a new playbook, being a rookie, and kind of playing the de facto position that the offense runs through more than the others. That seems like a lot of pressure and a big step for, I think, a rookie at this moment. So mix it in, but I don't know if he's going to be the primary snap receiver of the time that Rashee Rice is out.
I mean, I look at this. I'm with Matty on all the Royals talk as well. I look at this as saying, how many games did Juju Smith-Schuster have for this team? Like, how many games are you going to get good Juju Smith-Schuster? Is it 4? Because it would be really nice to funnel those Rashee Rice reps while he's gone through those 4. He's tailor-made for that. I think when we talked about Juju Smith-Schuster leaving last year, we went, oh, wow, no, this is going to be great because Rashee Rice is going to position himself to be right in that role. He's going to get these volume targets. It's going to be this short middle of the field stuff, breaking tackles, all the stuff that we saw from 2023 Juju. In 2022, the stuff that we had seen him do and what they like to build the offense out of right now, they still have a guy on the roster that knows where to be, knows how to be there. And I think Hollywood Brown's going to pick up the slack. Anybody who remembers last offseason knows that I said, I think Hollywood Brown is going to get 100 targets. Now, barring the way that Rashee Rice went in the season, I don't think that would have happened, but they have volume targets to give there as well. So I think it behooves them to let Jalen Royals grow into the role a little bit more. That's not to say he can't get there. I'm excited about Jalen Royals, but I don't know that you need to press him into that high volume role. It's great that he's getting reps with the ones. We've seen Andy Reid use that just to see, hey, if we put a little pressure on this kid early, is he going to turn into a diamond, or do we need to evolve his game a little bit more? That's wonderful. This is the exact time to be doing that. But they're also doing that with other guys like Tyquan Thornton, who has really shown up in a big way as more of an outside sort of X receiver, not the same role as Rashee Rice, but if they wanted a little different look that they wanted to position themselves with, it's another guy that they can get downfield. And with all the focus on the downfield passing game right now, which of course, look at it through the lens of a team that is going to try and put out the things that they want you to hear. Yeah, they're going to focus on the downfield passing game, but I would expect guys like Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, Noah Gray to be the focal part of the offense for the first 4 weeks there, get everybody to kind of collapse in, because everybody's going to look at that middle of the field and go, oh, they don't have their guy that they can function with there, so we're not going to play it the same way. Catch teams off guard for the first 4 weeks and then pivot.
I kind of said at the end of the show, and we briefly discussed Rashee Rice on Monday, that I think the hope is that you can get, maybe a package for get Jalen Royals to a point where he can be a package player early on in the season, right? Like, you're not complete, you're not getting it you're still compiling it in the aggregate, what you're getting, your production, for Rashee Rice. But I just said, just try to get him as a package player before, as the season starts. Just see if you can kind of, let that big body guy that has some ability after the catch down the field, dense Rashee Rice type player, let him catch the ball and run after the catch a little bit and make some plays on some unders and some of those kind of things. So I think that would be the kind of hope is, you can try to get him into a package player by the beginning of the season. I think that would be your hope. And you're just kind of slowly trying to replace what you're getting out of Rashee Rice with several different players. That is not the only rookie. Oh, go.
I was going to say, I think that I think there's definitely like a path for him to play. Like he provides something that the other guys, even the guys we're talking about, don't. Right? Juju Smith-Schuster doesn't have the same speed anymore in the open field to be an after the catch player. Worthy and Hollywood Brown have the ability to make it a big play, but they're not forcing missed tackles at the rate that Rashee Rice did or does, or at what you hope Jalen Royals is. Like there's still clearly a path for Royals to become a package-like player. I just do think that some fans are going to immediately transition to however long Rice is out, Jalen Royals is going to take all those snaps or the majority of those snaps, and then we'll see what goes from there. And I don't know if that should be the expectation is where we're going at. He's a day 3 rookie. Like let it be. Remember, it took Rashee Rice until like week 11 to matter as a rookie, and they needed him more than they're going to need Jalen Royals, right? And he was a better prospect than Royals. So just let him have some time. Don't try to force him in there. And I'm glad Craig mentioned it. Tyquan Thornton, somebody we also saw him in chat from Mike saying that we were sleeping on him. I'm not sleeping on Thornton. I wanted to talk about him. It's just he wasn't going to be the replacement for Rashee Rice. He is going to be your Justin Watson replacement, I think. We spent a lot of time this offseason, Kent and I, during the summer, talking about, hey, what do you do without all these snaps? The Chiefs always have a body type like this that plays these snaps, that plays in these certain packages. I made the Badger push, wanted it to be Elijah Badger. I don't know what's happening there. Not saying good or bad. I do know one thing. Tyquan Thornton's getting a lot more run than anybody else from that kind of position. And he's 6'2". Yeah, he's a little thin. He's probably still, 190-ish pounds, but he's always been a competitive blocker. He can stretch the field vertically. He'll go out there and block. Like, it just seems like he's a guy that might factor into this wide receiver room, not in the slot, not as a Rashee Rice replacement, but he might factor into this wide receiver room a little bit more than a lot of people thought whenever they shoved him onto the practice squad the middle of last season.
And he obviously has a little bit of a rapport with Patrick Mahomes already. Like we're seeing that. There's several highlights going downfield. Tyquan Thornton looking good there. I mean, but it's the little stuff that I think gets him on the field over a guy like Jalen Royals. Again, completely different roles, but he's able to do some of the more, minutia a little bit better at this point. Yeah, he never caught on at New England. It didn't really work out there. That organization was a mess, but he wasn't really contributing in the way that you would expect a guy with that kind of speed, drafted at that kind of slot, to really contribute there. That being said, I love that Maddie said it. What was that, Maddie?
Come on, McCorkle.
Oh, I know. Yeah, McCorkle Jones. No, I helmet scout one thing in wide receivers, and it's Baylor wide receivers can block. Like all of them. They block like their life depends on it. And that's stuff that gets you on the field. That's stuff that gets you in a position to make plays. That's what Justin Watson is here for. When you're looking at 13 personnel, you got 3 tight ends on the field, and Justin Watson is out there because he's got a vertical presence and he's a hell of a blocker. That's the reason for him to be on the roster. If Tyquan Thornton is showing that he can contribute at that sort of level, that's the sort of positional swap that you're talking about, getting younger, getting faster, getting a little bit bigger. I mean, you should get excited about it from that regard. Those are the contributing factors. Chiefs could lean into a heavier personnel set for the first 4 weeks if they wanted to. I mean, that's something they could run a lot of 12 and 13. If they decided they wanted to supplement Rashee Rice with that, you need another wide receiver that you can trust to be out there on the field with those guys. That's where I start to get a little bit excited about a guy like Tyquan Thornton, who, now that the Chiefs are going to have Rashee Rice on suspension, a position in that wide receiver room has opened up all of the sudden here, and we can start talking about an initial 53 where it's more of a trial. I mean, this is a trial right now in training camp, but it's more of a trial in season to say, hey, are you worth keeping on our 53 all year long? Or when Rashee Rice comes back from suspension, are you the first guy gone?
All right. I'm ready to move on because I'm quite excited about a different rookie. It happened, guys. It happened. Everything we hoped for all offseason. We were waiting to see who would be lining up at left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. We were looking if there was going to be some kind of shenanigans on day one. You're going to put some veteran out there. You're going to put some veteran out at, left guard too. No, we went straight to the optimal lineup. Josh Simmons, left tackle. Kingsley Suamataia getting thrown into the fire immediately at the left guard position. not playing around with some of these other names, throwing those two into the fire immediately. I am so beyond excited that Josh Simmons is getting a crack at left tackle. There's no funny business. There's no earn it. Throw him out there and let him get going immediately. I was very encouraged and very excited to see that news coming down the pike from St. Joe, Maddie.
Okay, let's take this in two parts. Let's set kind of the stage of why he might be starting, or like talk about the process here, right? Jawan Taylor's on the PUP list. We talked about that a little bit before, and that put Jalen Moore as your starting right tackle, and then that's going to leave Josh Simmons as your starting left tackle. Do we think if Jawan Taylor was healthy, do we think that we would have anything different happening at left tackle? How do we think that process would be going?
I'm just going to keep it short because I haven't gotten to talk about this yet. No.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I think the moment the Chiefs were able to get Josh Simmons in the draft, it became in the best timeline. Jalen Moore is a very expensive swing tackle for a year, and then we'll see what happens after. I think that is what the best case, like that was their best timeline. And hey, knock on wood right now, it seems like we're pacing towards that. I think it's good that they're giving Simmons the left tackle reps and not even messing with him flopping back and forth. I also think it matters. I've seen some debate between Chiefs fans of like, does it matter that he's doing this, or are they just trying to get him experience because he doesn't have no, I don't think the Andes are just going to throw out who they think is not their best left tackle right now, or has the chance to be their best left tackle come week one, and put him out there just because. Creed Humphrey started at center on the first day of practice. Trey Smith didn't. He won that job quickly, but Trey Smith was not your first team right guard on day one. Like, they're not just putting somebody out there just because they want to see them get reps. They're going to make them earn that spot, and I think Simmons has earned it. So the process of getting there, I think we all agreed Simmons has kind of earned his right to be there, and that's what it is. And Jalen Moore, at least as of right now, we have to assume is not a starter if Jawan Taylor's healthy, right? I mean, is that what we're looking at?
Yes. I'm just keeping it short so that you can keep ripping here, Maddie.
No. Yeah, we're opening it up after this point.
Okay. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, Kent. Okay. And then I've got lots of Simmons.
I'll just say this. Jalen Moore has not had a ton of time in training camp in the offseason this year either. He's been dealing with injury too. So if you are going to take this opportunity right now in training camp, as you are trying to get ready for the season, and both of your tackles have kind of not had the full, the full opportunity for the entirety of the offseason, why would you mess around with someone you intend to be the starting left tackle in Jalen Moore and waste opportunities for him to get into the swing of things when he really hasn't even had an entire offseason to do that? Why would you be flipping him over to the right side if you are planning on kicking him over to the left whenever Jawan Taylor gets back? It doesn't make too much sense to me to say, hey, we had a left tackle problem last year. You know what we should do? We should mess with that week one or day one of practice, just because, we have some injuries here in Jawan Taylor, who is reportedly close-ish to coming back. Like, he's going to be back at some point here. You don't waste your time. You don't waste Jalen Moore's time to get ready and prepared to be your week one starting left tackle, especially since he hasn't had a ton of time out there. I think this is intentional. I think Josh Simmons is already the guy that they are trying to get ready for week one of the season. And it wouldn't make sense to me if that wasn't the case at this point, just based on all the signs that we've seen. By the way, limited what we've seen. Josh Simmons looks awesome. I mean, the feet look real good. They look real good. Real excited about watching those, watching him in those pass sets and that drill. Like, he was moving a little bit. So reason to be excited.
That's the fun part. The little bit that we've seen, and it's a little bit, and this is like not pads, not like it's not even like half real yet, right? But just watching him move through these drills, whether it's individual drills during the team periods, whatever it is, he still just continues to look like he moves and looks like an elite left tackle that goes out there and how they move and look. Doesn't mean when the game starts, it's going to be that good. There's been plenty of guys in the NFL that have done that haven't worked out. But comparing him to other tackles that we have seen over the past few seasons in Kansas City. You can even take this back to Orlando Brown Jr., who played really well for the Chiefs, but like watching them in drills and in camp and stuff, they never moved it the way these elite left tackles does. And Simmons does. And it's not just the quickness. It's not just the explosiveness. It's how controlled his body is during it. He's never out of control. Everything is just at a very fast, but entirely under control pace. And listen, I don't mean this to talk down on somebody, but we saw a nice little combo block between him and Kingsley on the sled today. And it's just night and day, I think, to me, how they're going through that rep. And like they have slightly different assignments because one's a guard and one's a tackle. But one guy is getting better leverage. One guy's a little faster and more direct in his pathing off the ball. He is delivering force from the ground into the sled almost in a perfectly straight line. And then there's Kingsley, who looks like he is threatened to be dumped by a sled because he's leading with his hips. And it's just not a good, like, you see what I mean? It's just, I think they're different. It almost feels like they're different caliber of players, even not in pads. And I know Chiefs fans are going to have some open wounds because of how hyped we were about Kingsley last year, essentially in this exact same spot. But just watching them, and again, I understand it's comparing a guard to a tackle and some of these things, but they just don't move the same to me. They don't look the same out there, even in these non-padded practices.
All right. I'm the resident Josh Simmons hater on this podcast, which is it doesn't take much. If you have literally like one negative take about Josh Simmons on this podcast, you are the hater. So I'm just setting the bar there.
If you're worried about his knees not working, you are a hater.
No. See, listen. That's somebody else. We don't need to drag that into this.
Tucker.
I just wanted the hype to like take a break. You got Jason Kelsey out here saying he moves like Trent Williams. He's got these feet. He's doing all of this. And I'm like, man, can we let the rookie get through camp? We are 2 days into camp, and I'm right there with you, Jason. I pivoted pretty quick on that. He just looks different. He moves different. And we have seen time and time again, specifically at this position and others, but specifically this position's guys that look the part, move the part, do the things right. Andy Heck, if you watch any coaching clinic that he brings up, he talks about feet rooting through the ground, that bend in the knee, working up through the hips, driving up through that. And the fact that Josh Simmons is hitting the sled like that every single time right now that we have seen in these clips, that Andy Heck has to be watching practice film right now, just being like, hey, we got it. Like, this is the guy. There's no question to me that this is the guy. We feel good about starting this guy. We saw a competition between Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia last year, and we saw that formulate in Kingsley's starting at the beginning of the year. They are really wanting a long-term solution here. That's what they want. They want to solve it. Josh Simmons fell into their lap. Let's be clear. The injuries, everything like that, he fell into their lap. They should not have a player that is this talented. It was always injury that you were looking at there. Little bit of, does he love the game of football? I'm watching him practice in the humidity of St. Joe right now and running around and doing everything right. I think that we can put that one to bed a little bit here. What we are seeing is not Jawan Taylor coming back and now all of a sudden Jalen Moore is going to grab this position, because if they wanted to bring Josh Simmons along slowly, guess what? They would play Wanya Morris at left tackle. They've done it before. They did it for large portions of last year. Or they would put Jalen Moore at left tackle and put Wanya at right tackle. Ethan Driscoll is the backup there. Wanya is the backup at left tackle. They have options. They do not have to do this. And when you have a guy that is Suamataia at left guard that is also brand new to that position, playing next to two guys that he's not played next to before in Creed Humphrey and Josh Simmons, these reps can't be wasted. This isn't Joe Thuney lining up at left guard and you're just saying, hey, we're going to experiment with left tackle because Thuney will just cover up whatever we need to do. You are trying to figure out that entire left side of this. There are no wasted reps. There is intentionality behind every single piece of this. I think we have already seen Josh Simmons supplant Jalen Moore on the depth chart at left tackle. And now I'm starting to keep an eye on, do they like Jalen Moore at right tackle? Do they like him as a swing
I know Kent
tackle?
wants to get us to a break. Jalen
Yeah.
Moore is not your second team left tackle. It was back to Wanya Morris. Jalen Moore, it's not like they said, oh, okay, go get some second team reps at left tackle. Go get some first, he's not splitting first team reps at left tackle. He is taking his reps at right tackle. Now, again, 2 days, no pads. Jawan Taylor's not there. We will see how it changes, but he was not put in there as the second team left tackle, at least, from anything that I've seen so far. So I think that's worth tracking. Not,
do we think that the competition that we've been looking at all along here at left tackle is actually at right tackle?
No, I don't think it's a competition.
You don't think so?
I
don't know. Andy Reid said immediately after the draft, it's like, hey, Jalen Moore can play right tackle too. I mean, we're going to have an open competition
we haven't
everywhere.
seen it in the NFL or college, so.
I'm just saying.
They might be giving him more reps over there just to familiarize himself because he's going to be the most expensive swing tackle in football.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
I just think Jawan Taylor's just a better player.
It's okay. It's okay if you're paying a swing tackle as much as you are for Jalen Moore. You're fine.
Taylor's a fine player. So.
I will defend the Jalen Moore decision if anyone wants to get upset about how much they're paying that swing tackle. If he winds up being the swing tackle, it's the most easily defendable thing ever because the Chiefs did not know that they were getting Josh Simmons at pick 32. And the league
watched their 2 Super Bowl losses and tell me they couldn't have used the better swing tackle.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Before we do take a break, I would like to give both of you an opportunity to maybe just give any more training camp takes. You might have them. Speed round it. So 30 seconds, 38 seconds for Maddie.
Yeah, okay. Christian Fulton not being able to play on the PUP list or practice, unfortunate. Don't love that the solution is just, hey, Trent, go play outside again, and we're going back to Shamari Connor as our slot DB because that worked out so well last year. Now, is it better if Watson is healthy and Trent McDuffie is healthy and they're on the outside and it's Shamari Connor on the inside and you don't have the revolving door of Najee Johnson and Joshua Williams as well? Sure, it's better, but I don't love that being your just go-to solution is to once again remove McDuffie from the slot if that is in fact how it plays out, which it seems like the reps have said. So that's a little unfortunate. Also noteworthy in the secondary rotation. Sounds like Noel Williams is getting a little bit of run earlier in like the depth chart than Joshua Williams is. He is playing second team corner to start. The Chiefs have always rotated DBs during camp. Like it will change week by week. It'll change practice by practice, but just worth noting that Noel Williams is also getting some run a little bit before Josh Williams. So those two things did catch my eye.
Yeah, it feels like they're pressure testing Noel Williams a little bit there. I've still got my eye on the fact that Najee Johnson is sharing a jersey number right now. I'm just going to throw that one out there. And I'm not going to get into the DBs because then I'll go for another 10 minutes on this. Again, I am the resident DB hater in this group, and we are already seeing that risk formulate.
It's amazing not being the hater anymore.
I get to come back and just be the hater now. Brian Cook gave a fantastic presser today. Just an absolutely phenomenal presser. Somebody asked him the question. It's like, what did it feel like? Because your first playoff loss was in the Super Bowl last year. And he went, oh, I'm sorry. Excuse, can you repeat the question? It's like, oh yeah, no. What was your first playoff loss was in the Super Bowl last year. How did that? And he said, oh no, I heard you the first time. I just wanted to hear you say it again. It feels like he's getting a little more comfortable. It feels like he's becoming a little bit more of that guy in the room now that maybe Justin Reed's not there, feeling like he's got a little bit more ownership. We did not get any of that playfulness out of Brian Cook, like ever from him. So I don't know if that's just a comfortability thing. I don't know what we're going to see there. You can see those pressers on the KCSN YouTube here. We got our guy, boots on the ground, Herbie TOP, on the ground every single day. So you can see those pressers here, but I really, really enjoyed that one. And, Spags' presser was just a master class. He hit all of the high notes today.
Like you hit the Italian.
Go find those.
You hit the Italian.
Yeah, thing. I love that man so much.
I have two things here. Real quick. Brashard Smith catching a shoot route out of the backfield was pretty sick. That was fun to watch. And also, Craig leaves the show. comes back and is able to pronounce Suamataia correctly. That is just
I've always pronounced Suamataia correctly.
no,
Once
Mr.
they're
Suamataia.
and passing on.
We're gonna take a break. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
And Jewel.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network. Emprise Bank has been with us from the beginning. They were our first network partner, and they believed in the vision of what we were building from the start. I can't speak to any other banks or companies and how they operate, but I can tell you from personal experience and based on the growth of the network you're listening to right now, that if you have banking needs, call our friends at Emprise Bank. We've worked with so many great people there over the years, from Vicky and Aggie to Andrea, Lori, Jackie, Deb, and Aaron, and not to mention so many others that not just supported KC Sports Network, but supported our KCSN Foundation as well. But the best thing that I know is that if I have a question or a problem, no matter how dumb the question is, I know who I'm going to call and who I'm going to talk to, and I know that I'm getting an answer from someone that I can trust, and I know that person is there to help us. That's why Emprise Bank has always been and continues to be our partner in Possible, and they can be yours too. You just have to reach out. If you have a banking need, whether it's business or personal, hit me up. I will connect you directly with the same people that have helped us build KCSN. And that's our friends at Emprise Bank.
Folks, there's nothing that beats relaxing on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And there's no simpler way to get in on the action than by downloading the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It's crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
It's kind of like a little weird time here where we're slowly getting rid of some of the summer series and moving on to Chiefs football, because we're 40 minutes into the show. And most people call that a podcast. We call it break one. But we do have a few things that, we're closing up. I don't know how many player rankings we have left, but this is the last lesson learned looking back at last season's games. And the Week 10 game against the Denver Broncos, in which Leo Chanel blocked a kick to save the Chiefs' undefeated season, is the final game in this series, a 16-14 victory at home against the Denver Broncos. Craig, we'll start with you. What was your lesson learned from Week 10 of that season?
Don't allow Sean Payton to dictate the game. The Chiefs played the exact way that that the Broncos wanted them to. This was rough to watch because it was, we've talked about several games throughout the season. We've talked about ways that they could have improved, tells for the future and all that. I watched this game and went, boy, they could not have played into what the Broncos wanted them to do more than they did. It is a miracle that they escaped with a win. Obviously, not a true miracle here because Dave Tobe and the special teams coordinators, that all of the people studying tape found a weakness in that, and they were able to unleash it. They almost blocked several of them earlier in the game. Leo Chanel comes up in a huge moment at the end. But everything that I was watching, the deep drops against a good pass rush, trying to play a little bit more blitz against a team that wants to get the ball out fast, but you're playing a little bit off and soft with your corners. It just, none of it worked. It was a lot of me just staring at that going, boy, this just feels like a game plan that you just crumple up and throw in the trash because it was exactly the way that the Broncos wanted to play. It was exactly the way that the Chiefs weren't comfortable playing at the time. It was just a mess all game long. And the fact that they came out with the win is just one of those, you just kind of grind it out and you end up coming up with an undefeated season still, but not a fun game to watch.
Well, it was a game that happened. No, it was not fun to watch. It was Kingsley got another chance to play left tackle. It did not go swimmingly. To say the slightest. The Chiefs couldn't do anything on offense. They couldn't run the ball. Their entire offense was checking the ball down to Mr. Kareem Hunt, who could not make guys miss in the open field, to Travis Kelce, who could not make guys miss in the open field. And the offense just had no real ability to get anything going. They couldn't find a rhythm. They couldn't find go-to plays. There was just really nothing offensively. It was just them trying to gut it out versus a defense that was playing very well. And then on the flip side, the Broncos and Sean Payton had a pretty good plan of attack on how they wanted to find success. And I'm using success loosely, so it's not like their offense did a lot, but to find the success they needed against Steve Spagnuolo's defense at this point in time. Hey, listen, Trent McDuffie didn't have his best game. And that, honestly, I kind of cost the Chiefs a little bit in this one, right? Cortland Sutton gets times, and that makes this game a little bit closer than it had to be because your top corner couldn't cover their top receiver in a couple difficult assignments given the way things played out, and maybe he lost some help that he expected, but like you expect a little bit better out of him. So gross game to watch. I mean, I don't know if there's like a big overarching lesson from this game that we haven't discussed already throughout the entire season, right? Like nothing stands out to me directly from this game other than this is one of the few games we watched where didn't even feel like the Chiefs had an idea on what they wanted to do offensively. They just had no clue. They had nothing that they were trying to get to because they were having success with nothing. So they had nothing to fall back on. Other games you can say, okay, the offense stunk, but here they were finding these mesh routes. Here they were trying to get good looks in the run game. Here they were doing this. This game, I don't know what they were trying to get because it just didn't look good at all. So
the Chiefs didn't allow a point for the last 36 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And somehow the Broncos led for 30 of those minutes.
Yeah.
It was just a gross performance. And I remember walking up the stairs right before the blocked field goal, and I heard my wife yelling.
You quit.
I didn't quit. I was just in between televisions because I was coming up, getting ready to do the show. And I heard my wife yelling. I was like, oh wow, what happened? So yeah, it was an ugly football game. And I think the one thing that it's been reminded of me a couple times, and I think it's shown up more during the divisional matchups, is last year's offense will not be good enough in 2025. They've got to take steps in the whole. They won a Super Bowl with the game management, getting by, playing good defense, protecting the football, blah, blah, blah. It ain't going to fly in 2025. The offense needs to get back to doing some of the things that they were doing. They need to push the ball down the field. They need to get more aggressive. They need to be more explosive. And we don't need to watch these slugfests where we're just, any possession in a kick is a good thing. Like Patrick Mahomes, go score, push the ball down the field, be aggressive, block for the man, for crying out loud. Like last year and the last 2 years worth of winning football is not going to be enough. This division's getting better. The defenses are better. They're sick of getting beat every single season. You gotta take some strides offensively in 2025. You've got to be a lot better if you want to do what you want to do. That style is not going to fly anymore.
We did see one unique thing in this game. We saw a Justin Ross goal line fade in this game. It was terribly overthrown, or he didn't run the right route or something like that. But we did see a Justin Ross target in the red zone. R.I.P. King.
Training camp legend.
Well, he didn't die.
He didn't die. He just got traded.
What?
No long. He's dead to the 53-man roster. That's what it is.
I'm gonna put an
the 90-man roster.
The NFL.
Wait, I'm hungry. Do you guys want to go to Taco Bell?
Yeah. Maybe we could watch.
Oh, the Undertaker's back.
I'm gonna put an RIP on the lessons learned
Twister.
series. That was it. That was the last lesson learned for 2024 season. Hopefully 2025 is fun to watch.
Oh man, we have like a whole big long segment left. We have 50 minutes. This is amazing.
We're gonna speed round the tackles, I guess.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
We are gonna do our top 10 tackles in the National Football League on the offensive side of the ball. And let's do this. I don't know who should start. Craig,
How many tiers you guys got? How many tiers?
I think I got 4.
I got 4 tiers.
I got 5, so I guess I'll go first.
Okay, Maddie's going first.
No, the name of this one doesn't make sense because I changed out number 10 at the last second because it just wasn't fair. So it was supposed to be young guys ready to take a jump, and it was 9 was Joe Alt, and number 10 was Zach Tom, who just got paid. But I switched out Zach Tom for Laramie Tunsil because I just, it wasn't it didn't feel right to keep Tunsil out of the top 10. So he's hanging on there. I guess he mentally needs to take a jump. He had a lot of mental lapses last year, a lot of penalties, led the league in penalties. He needs to take a jump in his in his discipline. But yeah, so 9 was Joe Alt. 10,
Houston.
He jumped to the Capitol from Houston. But yeah, no, Laramie Tunsil at 10. He has, again, he's on the downswing of his career. He's not as good as he was a couple years ago. And like the penalties and the discipline, just pure discipline of picking guys up and being on his P's and Q's every single rep are a little down, but still very good player. Doesn't lose a lot of one-on-ones when he's locked in. Joe Alt is clearly on an upward swing. He was really good as a rookie. And while, yeah, there are some instances where I think his technique got exposed by higher level athletes that he got away with at Notre Dame, he's still really good. And if those things get fixed or just more experience, he'll be great. So those are my 9 and 10. Perfectly named.
Perfectly
named. All right. We doing my 9 and 10?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do my 9 and 10. I called this tier specialists. And my justification for this.
And not taking jumps?
Number 10, Zach Tom, and number 9, Laramie Tunsil. And both of these are specialists in one regard here. Zach Tom is an elite run blocker. Now, he's a pretty good pass blocker too. That's why he's on this list, but is a phenomenal run blocking tackle as this guy that's just this road grader out there and does enough in the pass game to warrant being on this top 10. Conversely, Laramie Tunsil, not really much of a run blocker, but is an elite pass blocker and has been for most of his career. Yes, he is in the backslide of his career. He is not in a position where he should be, like top 5 easy, like he has been probably prior to this year. This past year was really very telling for Laramie Tunsil, and it's part of the reason why he's ending up on another team here, but is still an elite pass blocker. So I needed these 2 guys to be on my list. They ended up at the bottom there. They're specialists in their own regards. They're run blocking, pass blocking. That's my 9 and 10.
All right, we'll go to my first tier, and it's very eloquently put. Almost went with Christian Darrisaw, but went with an alternative. At number 10 is Joe Alt.
How do I mute him?
I did want to give him some credit here.
Thank you.
Wanted to give Joe Alt some his flowers here. I think he had a tremendous rookie season introduction to the National Football League, and Maddie is right. Like I think there are some things that can give him some fits athletically, but he's got all the makings of an exceptional talent and one of the best tackles in football, and he deserves to be on this list this quickly. So shout out to Joe Alt, and also a little nod to Christian Darrisaw. Next, Maddie.
Yes, my next tier. It's pretty much hey, if health didn't matter, we got Andrew Thomas at number 8 and Christian Darrisaw at number 7. These 2 guys, when they play, are elite tackles. Like they're vying for my top 5. The problem is neither one of them can, play ever. They play about half the time. And yeah, that's kind of a problem. However, who am I to wish negativity about somebody's knees? That's not in my game. So I want both of them to return to health. I want them to be healthy and, take their spots back in the top 10. I think Andrew Thomas, after a rough rookie year, became one of the best pass protecting, just unbeatable walls in pass protection. He was great there for the Giants when he's healthy, and then he's just battled injuries the last 2 years. 2 years. Darrisaw is a little bit more on the way like Craig was describing Zach Tom. It's a little bit more physical. It's a little bit more of a road grader. He is mean. He is nasty, but he was a great athlete that was getting better and better and better in pass protection. And then his knees started to fail him too.
Tucker, just throw up the list. Back from injury, number 8, Andrew Thomas. Number 7, Christian Darrisaw. Yeah, everything Maddie just said right there. Wow. Yeah. No,
Okay,
I mean,
I think Craig and I are going to have exactly one different player, and it was Zach Tom on his. I had him at 11. We'll see, but I think the guy that Craig doesn't have on mine is going to be my number 6.
Okay,
that's my guess.
We'll see here, but
he doesn't have
Andrew Thomas. The way that he started last year was outrageously good. Like, it was incredible, and unfortunately suffered an injury there. I know a lot of people didn't watch that football team, and I get it. They weren't very fun to watch, but he was so good before he was hurt. Yeah. Christian Darrisaw, if you go back 2 seasons ago, I have him probably top 3 for me. Like, going into this season, if he was coming off of that kind of season, the only reason he's at 7 is because I don't know how he's coming back from that injury. He was one of those guys that coming out of college, I really liked. I liked his game, very physical. A player that I just really enjoyed watching, but I wasn't sure how it was going to translate. And it was rough early, and boy, did it turn the corner quickly. And he's become one of the league's best tackles. Christian Darrisaw is probably healthy, one of my top 3 here, but because he's just hurt, and nobody knows how he's going to come back. He's back down here in this tier.
Healthy, those 2 guys are probably 4 or 5 for me. Just if they were healthy, those 2 are probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, Darrisaw was tricky. I mean, Darrisaw played 7 games last season, and so like that was when I was like kind of like I tried to give him his props without like he's right there for me. So
you're a coward.
Give me my next tier. Top veterans. I just kind of put a few of these veterans in here and just kind of went with this group. Andrew Thomas at number 9, Laramie Tunsil at number 8, Rashawn Slater at number 7, and Dion Dawkins at number 6. These are, these are strong, stable veterans that are putting out good tape, still doing a very good job. Yeah, I mean, Andrew Thomas, like you guys said, he's had a nice little bounce back since the beginning of his career. Still giving Laramie Tunsil his flowers as well, even though like it's just, very rare do teams want to move on from top tier left tackles. Like, imagine the Chiefs doing that. Like, there's just a little bit in the back of my head go, what's going on? Because we kind of have an idea what's going on with it, but that's my next tier. Maddie, what's yours?
Why are you more skittish about Christian Darrisaw's injuries and not Andrew Thomas's?
Andrew Thomas actually played more games last season. It's like there's a little bit of a nod there, and like
he's on the PUP list now.
Baking all that into consideration. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Andrew Thomas, I think, is actually a better offensive tackle than Christian Darrisaw too, though. So.
I think the best that we've seen of both of them, I think I would have him slightly ahead. I was just asking if there was a difference in the injury return. All right, my next tier. I have 3 guys in this tier. These are lockdown studs. Dion Dawkins, what a rise for his career. Like, what an improvement through his career he has had to where now he is legitimately one of the better pass protecting left tackles. It's no slouch in the run game. He has a very specific style with these really wide angle sets that he just waits for guys to attack his body so that he can trap them and just face plant them in the ground. Rashawn Slater, who when he's not injured, he can do a lot. He can do anything you ask him to do in the run game or the pass game. Yeah, he gives up some length, but the problem is he's always dinged up. And I do think that makes his play a little bit more inconsistent and is probably why I kind of went back and forth on where he should be at in here. He just always seems to be dinged up, which makes him play really good instead of elite like he always can. Number 4 is Penei Sewell. I think some national media has got out over their skis with the Penei Sewell stuff. I don't think he's in competition for the best tackle in the NFL. I think his pass pro is still a little too erratic. I think he's too hit or miss. Great in the run game. As a pass protector, though, he still takes a lot of risks. So I just think that, there's a clear, for me, separation from these guys and then my next 2 tiers.
Can I, before we continue this show anymore, I do want to make a prediction very quickly on Maddie's next tier. Okay. I think the next tier will be called, because I think it's going to be 2 Philadelphia Eagles, but he's not just going to call it Eagles. I think he's going to add a little flair to it. I think it's going to be fly, Eagles, fly. That's my prediction. I think the next tier is going to be fly, Eagles, fly. That's my prediction.
Okay. I want your prediction to be in there. I'm just going to see. It's locked in. Everyone's heard it. We'll do this again when we get to. In what world would I name something fly, Eagles, fly?
I just think you'd try to add
your name.
Yeah,
no, pizzazz for sure. But you would do fly, Eagles, fly. Nothing about me would ever do that.
Eagles, IGGLES. Then fine. Anyways, continue, Craig.
Yeah. My next tier here is what I'm calling aging elites, and I've got Trent Williams at number 6 and Lane Johnson at number 5. This is no knock to either one of these players. They are still terrific. Trent Williams is still putting on a clinic. He has been the best tackle in the NFL for a very long time. He's just getting older. He's 37 years old. It's starting to show a little bit here, not just because he can't stay on the field, but even some of the motions are starting to be a little more labored than we have seen in previous years. And again, this is a prediction for 2025. I think we continue to see that a little bit. His technique, his ability, everything else about him is still going to always keep him in this conversation. But I think we saw last year the start of it. And I'm predicting a little bit more of a backslide. Lane Johnson was drafted the same year as Eric Fisher. You know, this is a guy that has been in the league forever. And we did not see a backslide last year. We didn't. This is a projection of a little bit here because he was phenomenal last year at right tackle for the Eagles. I just think it's got to catch up, right? At some point, Lane Johnson is going to fall off. So I'm sticking my neck out here a little bit and saying that this is the year that he goes from being that elite of the elite down to just regular elite. He has been phenomenal. He was the best pick in the 2013 draft. Eric Fisher probably was second best. I'm not trying to slide Eric Fisher there. Lane Johnson's just been that good for that long. And yeah, he fits perfectly what that Eagles offensive line wants to do.
All right, my next tier. It's called Most Fun. These are two elite tackles that are just fun to watch that get weaponized by the offenses that they use, right? I think 5, Jordan Mailata, and number 4, Penei Sewell are two of the most fun tackles. They are the two most fun tackles to watch in football. They get utilized and weaponized in unique ways. They get put out in space. Shoot, they give them the ball sometimes. And watching for Jordan Mailata just being a massive man out in space at 365 pounds, moving the way that he does, and creating some of those lanes for Saquon Barkley. Some of those big runs were directly attributed to what Jordan Mailata was doing. And then with Penei Sewell, yeah, it's like freak athleticism, size, density, and also like, hey, let's just let you catch the football every now and then. We'll just kind of get you involved, get you a touch or two every year. These are still just two exceptional talents. Still ascending. I think Jordan Mailata is scary. Is Jordan Mailata is still getting better. Same with Penei Sewell. I think you're right. Like, I think one thing that's kind of like making him slide a little bit on this list is like, I do think there are some more inconsistencies as a pass blocker, but all the tools and traits are there. And there's so many good things about his game that you still got to appreciate him. And he's one of the 5 best tackles in football.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to my next tier.
Is
prediction. My next tier is Angel Trent Williams at number 3, Lane Johnson at number 2. For a lot of the same stuff,
hanging out, Maddie.
For a lot of the same reasons that Craig already said, Trent Williams gets behind Lane Johnson for the first time ever in my ranking of offensive tackles. Besides the year he didn't play, because I do think that you have seen some slight signs. I don't even know if it's Trent Williams slowing down. It's just his body breaks down, so he can't be at 100% all the time. So whether even some of the games he plays, because he's missing some, he'll play some games where it feels like he can't impose his will on people, not because he physically can, just because his body doesn't feel good enough to. But when he's feeling good, he's still the best tackle in the NFL. When he feels good, when the body's feeling right and he's healthy, I still think Trent Williams is the best tackle. You just don't get that for more than a third, a half of the year at this point of his career. Lane Johnson's given me no signs of slowing down. So, hey, we're going to ride with him as a top 3 tackle in the NFL till then. This is for next year, not for the next 3 years. So I'll stick with my vets right now. If this was a 3-year project, they would go down a little farther. But like right now, I haven't seen enough to drop either one of them. So I got Trent Williams at 3, Lane Johnson at 2 for my fine wine aging offensive tackles.
I like that. I like that a lot. My top tier has 4 candidates in it, and I'm calling it the best of the best. Number 4, Rashawn Slater. Number 3, Jordan Mailata. Number 2, Penei Sewell. And number 1, Tristan Wirfs. These 4 are just the next wave. And all of them show flashes of being the top guy in various pieces of that. I don't disagree with your guys' assessment of Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater. Totally and completely agree. But my goodness, when it is on, it is on. Like Penei Sewell has the most fun tape. I love Kent's name for that tier. He has the most fun tape of almost any tackle in the league.
It's not Trent Williams.
When he misses, it's bad. But boy, when he hits, it's so fun. I think that the Eagles, they stumbled into the left tackle that they needed for this lineup and for this organization. Every single year, he takes another step that impresses me. And I don't think 2025 is going to be any different here. He is just the perfect specimen for that offensive line. And Rashawn Slater, yeah, he's dinged up a lot. Another year in Harbaugh's system, another year with Justin Herbert. He has really overcome the length aspect of that. I think it's funny that I'm the one that brought it up amongst all of us here. That is short-armed offensive tackle that's able to come into the league and just be that kind of guy, be that functional. He has been so good. But Tristan Wirfs is unbelievable. I don't know that I've ever witnessed a guy that was all-pro at right tackle and all-pro at left tackle my entire time watching football and deserve
You have not.
In both of those. Yeah, he
I can assure you have not.
Sure. Yeah, he's unreal. He is unreal and just has continued to get better and better and better. A true guy that you just put wherever and put him on an island and he does it. He is making it very difficult to have draft conversations about offensive tackles. That's how good he is, because people are like, oh, why don't you move him over to right tackle and see how he does? Why don't you move him over to left tackle? This is not normal. It is not normal. So I am right here. Tristan Wirfs is my number 1, and it's pretty easy, but I think any of these 4 guys could be in this number 1 spot over the next 4 or 5 years.
Yo Swooty wants to know what Craig's arm length is.
33 and a half.
Really?
So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I had sub 30 arms. I'm 6'1.5" and I think I had like 29.5" arms.
I measured this when we were doing CBAT stuff a while ago. That's the only reason why I know that.
Maybe I need to remeasure mine and just see, but I
think that's a good idea. I know somebody that measured his arms once, and they were like ridiculously short, and he remeasured and found out that it was actually a little bit longer.
We can't let Tucker do it because Tucker thought he had 21" arms. He told us. We believed him for like a month. That he's like, yeah, I think
the worst part is you guys believed that I had 21-inch arms. That's the worst part of it.
Well, dude. It's just like, you know.
I thought you were just giving me like the circumference.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Those big, beefy biceps.
All right. What's your tier?
Next tier. It's my best of the best. I have Trent Williams at number 3, Tristan Wirfs at number 2, and Lane Johnson at number 1. I think Lane Johnson's still the best tackle in football. I know Maddie will probably get upset at me for putting a right tackle over a left tackle for some, positional value purposes because, he basically dinged all of the slot receivers and just refused to put him in his top 10.
I wouldn't put very many guards in my top 10 of offensive linemen.
Yeah. Well, it's a good point. But anyways, Lane Johnson, I think he's the best offensive lineman in football. And we can say like, he's not slowing down, but like, he's still been just like remarkably consistent. Very healthy for the last 3 seasons as well, playing exceptional football still. And like, I think there is like he's aging like Whitworth did. He's kind of aging like a Whitworth did. Yeah. So I still think he's got a few years of elite left in him. So he's playing outstanding football. This is his year 35 season, I believe. but man, still playing great football. Tristan Wirfs is awesome too, by the way.
So we're just waiting on mine. My final one. I have one spot left on my list. The drought's over. Josh Simmons, number 1, Kansas City Chiefs left tackle. Craig is walking out of set. He is upset. He did not think of this. Josh Simmons is clearly the best offensive tackle in the NFL. No. How do you feel about that, Craig?
Accurate. You're just 100% accurate.
No, okay. Realistically, I have Tristan Wirfs at number 1.
Okay.
Wirfs there. He's the standard. He is clearly the best offensive tackle in the NFL. I don't think it's close right now. The ability to play both sides. He's the best in pass pro. He's can do the most in the run game. I do think that like Penei Sewell's probably a better just like run blocker if you want to limit it to what he's great, like what they're the best at. But some of the stuff that Tristan Wirfs can do athletically in terms of reaching the second level is absurd. I think he's very clearly by himself right now. So yeah, I gave him that first slot at number 1 for me. I didn't have Mailata in my list at all, like you guys did.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
I don't think he mirrors very well at all. I think that like he really struggles to have to mirror and redirect. Good length, good size, but he's just 365 pounds. Like that's difficult to do. So that's why he was out of it for me. He was probably just like of these guys, my least favorite in pass pro. So he got knocked down.
There's our lists. We're not going to announce this entire top 10 all 3 top 10s because Tucker D. Franklin has created the Casey Laboratory aggregate top 10 tackle rankings for us. But the big question I have for you, Tucker, is did you do the aggregates with Josh Simmons at number 1 and also without Josh Simmons at number 1? Because I would like to know where he sits in the rankings.
Well, if Josh Simmons was number 1, he would have been 8th.
Let's go. Seems reasonable to me.
Too low.
Just ahead of Joel. After his rookie year. Perfect.
Actually, yeah. So the way that I did this is if you ranked them first, they got 10 points, second 9 points, and then I just added 3 points, like added the 3 guys' score. Third would be 8
kick
points.
Him out.
Don't do this. Don't entertain him.
So you guys are all smarter than Kent and know how the process works. And so I tallied it up. Here's the consensus rankings. Number 1, consensus Casey Lab, Tristan Wirfs. I had a stroke there for a second. He got 29 points out of a possible 30. So pretty impressive showing there from Tristan Wirfs. Number 2, Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson was your second. 3, Penei Sewell there. He got 23 points. Trent Williams got 21 points. He is your 4th. I don't think I said Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson had 25 points, by the way. So good showing from Lane Johnson there. Rashawn Slater coming in at number 5 with 17 points. This is a really interesting one. I thought this was interesting, at least. Jordan Mailata was 6, and he did not appear on Maddie's list. So that means the aggregate.
You guys were both super high on him. I thought that he would slip into your guys' top 10. Like at the back half of the top 10, I thought was like a reasonable spot for him. Seeing you guys both have him that high was actually quite shocking to me. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just off on my Mailata takes here. I think he's a very good football player that doesn't pass pro as good as anybody else in this list.
Dion Dawkins, the next guy. Yeah, Dion Dawkins, the next guy on the list, number 7. He also didn't appear on Craig's list.
My list.
Hater.
He got 10 points. Both 5s actually from Kent and Maddie, both giving him 5 points there. After Dawkins, we got Andrew Thomas. I gave Andrew Thomas the nod over Christian Darrisaw because Thomas actually appeared in all 3 lists. Darrisaw did not appear in Kent's list. So
kinda did. You should have given him a half point.
Well, okay, but that's not how I did it. So Andrew Thomas gets the nod because he appeared in all 3. It was a tie of 8 points at both of those. So they did technically tie for 8s, but I was the tiebreaker. And Joe Alt, 10. He had 3 points. That's wrong, actually. It should be Laramie Tunsil. I'm looking at this now. It should be Laramie Tunsil. I said 3, and I was like, "There's no way that's right." Yeah, it should be Laramie Tunsil at number 10 there. So sorry, Joe Alt. Gonna need to get you out of there for.
You don't have to be sorry to Joe Alt.
Sorry, Chargers.
You don't have to be sorry for Joe Alt. He's doing just fine.
Wait,
I think the consensus
what was Maddie's name for the tier with Laramie Tunsil? Young and what?
Ready to take a jump.
Ready to take a jump. Well, he took a jump out of the top 10 when he wasn't supposed to.
He's taking a jump back
to another franchise.
That consensus top 10 makes sense. It, checks all the boxes. Yeah.
Well, we're ready to take a jump out of here. That is going to do it for this episode of the KC Laboratory. No?
No, that's great. You did a fantastic job.
Okay. I mean, I could keep going if you guys want to. I'm enjoying this one very much, but
watch your ass, Tristan Wirfs. Josh Simmons is coming.